Hello, this is a reading for Pisces for 2022, the new year. This is kind of a New Year's what you can expect in the coming year reading for you. I'm just going to pull cards and get going right away. No explanation, you know. Get straight to the point. Comfort. Colin agrees. So Colin hasn't visited, I don't think, any of the readings, and he's decided that Pisces is the reading he wants to come and visit. So that's something. He's got something to say. Daughter of Fire. Aww. So Four of Cups, Daughter of Fire. There's something about, Colin coming to visit, first of all, and he hasn't visited in a long time. So there may be somebody who hasn't visited you in a long time. And they're going to come to visit. That might be something at the beginning of the year. Oh, what is it, Colin? He's like, it's bedtime already, all right? He can't deny that we had cuddle time earlier. He can't deny it. He remembers. Right, Colin? You remember. He didn't really like the sardines like Dirk did. Dirk was... his whole face was in the bowl. He was like, oh, this is amazing. Colin's just like, what's this? He was like licking it like from a distance. Like, oh, I have to say something. Discord, there's just an image of maple donuts right now. Tear to my eye. We remember 2021 is the year we lost the maple donut. Okay, thanks for being here, Colin. Do you want to be sitting on the table for this reading? Colin wants to hang out. Okay. Pisces energy is not wanting to take any bold steps in 2022. There's maybe an indication that there's a reason for that. I trust Pisces emotionally. If you're feeling that way, then you're feeling that way. Son of Earth. It's consistency. I feel like the 2021 might have been kind of a chaotic year. And I feel like 2022, moving forward, this is a feeling a lot like the Taurus reading. So you can maybe take a little bit from that one if you want to check it out. There's something about building consistency, but I feel like rather than it being in these kind of like physical, tangible ways of generating feelings, I feel like it's more the other way around. It's almost like the consistency is in not making any big, bold moves, and it kind of like, it starts with kind of not wanting to take on anything new. Fair enough. Could have been a big year. Colin's playing with the cables that are dangling from the lights. And he's gone. 3. I feel like what you have right now, what you've built, is more than enough. So I might have said something about I don't want any more, I don't want to make any bold decisions, might be indicating that last year was kind of a bit chaotic. Either that, or you've managed in 2021 to build yourself a nice comfort zone. And rather than, you know, inviting anything new in, it's kind of like more like enjoying what you have. There's something about savoring here. Interesting. Savoring the moment, or savoring what you've built, or savoring a little bit like Aquarius, I guess. Also a little bit like Scorpio. So you might resonate with the Scorpio reading, especially if you're kind of single and dating. The Devil. Pisces, I feel like I'm just getting a synopsis of all the readings. How Piscean, you know, to have everything all included. To be kind of like taking it all in. All 3 water signs, I feel like, are going to be relevant to you based on this 3 of Cups power. 9 of Swords. The Moon. I just don't think you want any drama this year. I think it's kind of like a homey energy. There's something about like I don't know what the heck people are up to these days, but I just don't want anything to do with it. And I just want to be in my la la land that I've built for myself. And that's fair enough. There's something about, getting yourself out into the world and, participating in all the things that are that's bothering everybody, or like all the things all the places and where there's people who are kind of like attached to all kinds of, political talk and talks about money. And, there's like these kind of like people with nonstop thoughts over and over again. And it's just like, I just want to sit in the living room with my family and I just want to sit there. It's really striking me as someone who, it's like a Pisces energy that's taking on a kind of a bit more of an earth tone. Water. It's almost like amphibious. Or it's kind of like these, like otters. Living in the marsh. They're water creatures, but sometimes they just want to kind of like go burrow away in some strange place that they've built that works for them. And I don't know if you want to hang out with any other creatures right now. I think you just want to hang out with otters. Your people. The people that you connect with and that you, yeah. It's a real contrast. The reverse cards are kind of coming up. Other than this kind of safety zone, it's almost like you're standing as a barrier between what you've built and what is kind of like on the outside. You just don't know what's out there. There's just this kind of like really hunkering down, being a bit afraid. I've got like a little bit of a bunker energy. And fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with that. 2022 might be a good year for that for you. Emperor, you're the one in control. You could have trouble sometimes with this. This tends to be kind of like a Pisces might be more willing to just kind of invite everything in that feels good. That can be sometimes a Pisces. And this is really a controlled setting. And I feel like this is what's being required here. Being asked, you're asking yourself for a controlled setting. Ace of Air. Ooh, I said that thing in the Discord right before I started. Oh, by the way, there's people in Discord right now. They're watching me film these videos live. Colin is playing with a piece of plastic again. His favorite little piece of plastic. I think I might call the little piece of plastic Paul. Plastic Paul. Colin's playing with Plastic Paul. Paul might be a name that is very significant for you. Air energy comes in from time to time. It's like a hurricane, right? So when you have water energy, and then there's even like, it's almost like even within this unit that you've built, even within this like safety zone, these are waterfalls after all. It's like you've built yourself kind of like a place where there's like so much feeling and so much lovey-dovey energy. Celebration, of course, here too. But it's like a little touch of air energy. And the whole thing can, too many thoughts that come along. Like, why is everybody always thinking so much about emotions? That's what I'm hearing this Emperor saying. Like, why don't we just sit here? Like, I just want to sit in my chair. I just want to sit in my chair. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to feel it. And sometimes when people aren't talking, we kind of like assume that they're not open emotionally. I'm going to use another French term. Au contraire, mon frère. This guy here is like feeling it. There's a lot to be said for somebody who's just sitting in their chair and who just wants to sit in their chair and feel their feelings. And they don't want to like get all fizzy with thoughts and feelings all mixed together. So fair enough. 2, equilibrium. This is kind of like what's created inside the bubble. It's kind of like you're inspiring people to envision that thing that you've created for yourself as being kind of like pretty much ideal. I see you creating a family home life is really what it is. Thank you, Dirk. Dirk came for a visit too, and he's kind of used up all his free passes on the table, so I'm just, the universe is here. There's an unlimited amount of time. It's almost like we could be giving all of our time to all of these things that are going wrong in the world and everything like that, but it's just at the end of the day, you know what this is much like? It's like that Abraham Hicks thing that I was just talking about. It's like somebody brings in this really challenging kind of like, you know, what about all the things that are wrong in the world? And you can't say that everybody manifested that and everything. And Abraham kind of brings this guy back to, you're right. However, what can you do? And bring yourself into a position of what you can do. And this is like Pisces energy is somebody who's bringing themselves into a position of something a lot more simple, almost like stepping back from having to explain the complexities of the world and just sitting there and enjoying, or sitting and feeling, whatever kind of feeling it is. You know, sometimes there's a hurricane and sometimes it's, you know, pretty fizzy, I'd say, or like, you might start to understand something about your feelings, and even that kind of like having to define them might bring out some kind of like swirly energy that, you know, just kind of might spiral out of control if you don't kind of, I get kind of like bring balance to it in a way by just kind of, see there's this daughter of fire, which is kind of like the page, and then there's this two equilibrium, which is the Two of Wands, and I see like I see these like kind of pillars that are being set up. It's structural foundations, and if anything, this is what the structure is in the home. Sure, there's a world out there where all that stuff is going on, but if I'm going to be exposed to all this stuff every day, and I'm not going to be able to kind of feel it all, because it's just, there's no way of taking on the weight of all of that stuff without completely making myself, you know, fool. Like, it's almost like losing myself in the moon and what I don't know. I come home, and this is a place where I can just sit in my chair and I can just feel how I feel about things, and nobody's going to say anything about that. No judgment over here. Whereas the universe, the world that you experience out here might have a lot more of that involved. And maybe if you are able to sit in this area where there's no judgment here, there's maybe some more aptitude over here. That you're going to be disidentifying almost with the torment of being in this environment. This kind of, you know, where there's so much to think about, there's so much to worry about. There's so much that you don't know, and I feel like this might be energy that you're kind of kicking in 2022. Sagittarius reading is talking about actually literally kicking an addiction, and so if you identify with the idea of in 2021, you might have gotten a little bit of addicted to the news, watching and getting kind of like eyes glued to the trauma that's on TV. There could be a message in there for you. There's this idea of ending a cycle of feeling tormented by all of the things that you're exposed to in the outside world. Father of water here, you might not identify with this right now, but it might be coming up. It's like the idea that it's emotionally mature to kind of like wear your emotions on your necklace, or wear your heart on your sleeve sometimes. You know, it's kind of like, rather than wearing your heart on your sleeve, like wearing them in a jar on a necklace. Something that reminds you of home. And this temperance water, it's like the amount of emotions that you can feel out here might be something beyond what you can account for with the available options. So I said that thing about check out Taurus reading. I do really feel like that's something. There was something in there about needing a way to kind of process what you're witnessing. And it seems as though these kind of like, if this is news, if you have been kind of like eyes glued to the news in 2021, it's not a two-way communication. There's nowhere to talk about it. And It's not that you don't want to invite this into your home. You don't want to turn your house into a big political marketplace. It could be more that like when you go into the external world that's feeding you all this information, there's nowhere that's asking, how do you feel about that? Or what do you think about that? Nobody's asking you what you think out there. So these big emotions that come from that, there's something to how do we sit in this pool of emotions and carry them responsibly and not bring them home and not ruin this kind of sanctuary that we've built for ourselves. It's an interesting energy, Pisces. I totally relate. And if anybody's going to figure it out first, it's going to be you. So you're being tasked this year with carving a path for us all. Deception. It's interesting. 7 of Wands comes across as deception. It's because it's the word there, but I see it as like is that Wands or is that Swords? I mean, it would make sense if it was Swords. Anyway, I see it as like defensiveness, holding up your defenses against the unknown so that you don't take in the emotions of not knowing. So it's not so much what you're being told here, it's the way that it's fed to you in such a way where it leaves you asking more questions than it answers. And so the feelings come from you not knowing rather than it coming from this event happened today, that event happened today, this event happened today, because it's always like this event happened today. We're not sure what's going to happen tomorrow, but stay tuned, and come back tomorrow because we're going to tell you that thing that you've been wanting to know, and they never actually tell you that thing that you've been wanting to know, and that is everything going to be okay? Is everything going to be all right? And they never say. They leave you hanging. Pisces, this is deep, man. This is deep. And actually, it's so funny. I was saying that thing about Dory and Pisces energy. That's all Dory wanted to know. Dory just wanted to make sure that everything was going to be okay. I feel for this. I almost want to cry. Truce. It's making peace with not knowing in such a way where you don't have to take on the weight of the world every time you turn the news on. And it's hard to do that as a Pisces who's so concerned with everybody else's well-being. Well, Pisces, I don't know how you're going to do this. This seems like a big task, but I feel like if I put this challenge on your plate, you are going to figure it out. I have faith in you, and I feel like you're about to carve a path for the rest of us. So thank you for taking it on, and looking forward to hearing your results and what happens. We need you, Pisces. We need you to use your, basically your superior emotional maturity that you have over everybody else to kind of figure out what it is that we need to do, because we're all in this boat with you. And so we're counting on you to maybe decipher something out of the messages we've been getting. I'm not saying watch all the readings, Pisces, but if you're feeling it, there's some common thread among all of it, and you might be the one who's going to be able to kind of lead us into 2022 with dignity, and awareness that we're doing the right thing and that we're being responsible with these big feelings that are coming around as we head into yet another year of not knowing. WTF is going on, right? That's it for your reading. That's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great 2022. Feel free to check us out in the collective. Here again, more readings on YouTube and also on Twitch. They're streaming there. I don't know, there might be other platforms, but it's hard to say. Maybe once you solve this puzzle, we'll know. Pisces. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.